All right, let's see what we have here. Oh, card number 14. If you are in a race against yourself, you can never catch up. Hi, this is John Paulus, and you're listening to Life's Potluck Buffet. So, on the Life's Potluck Buffet YouTube channel, we have playlists that contain videos that are by other people or organizations that resonate with the cards. Card number 14 has a really fun video of a guy and his dog racing each other by eating stuff off the floor. I think you have to watch it, and I think it's a very cute video. So check that out. At the end of this, there'll be a link to the video. So let me read the card. Too often we think of ourselves as being caught up in the rat race of life, struggling to keep up. We externalize it as a race against other people or other things, but this race is really against ourselves, and we can simply never win it. Say aloud who you are racing for rather than who or what you are racing against. Now watch yourself crossing the finish line. I have a worksheet that I created related to this that has an image of a racing car. It's like a Formula One car. So the idea is to draw on this Formula One car, number 14, of course, your sponsors. In other words, who you are racing for. I like this idea because it shows the mutual support between those that we care for and that we do things for outside of ourselves, and the support that they provide us by their very existence and by the things that they do that are essential for our existence. And so I like this conceptualization of the race car where, normally these Formula One race cars or NASCAR have the logos and names of their sponsors like all over the cars, if you're familiar with that. If not, go to an image search and search for Formula One or for NASCAR, and you'll see that there's the various sponsors on these cars. And obviously the sponsors pay money to have their logos and names on things, right? That's what sponsorships are about. And that kind of understanding of your own life, I think, is very helpful because of that dynamic relationship and that mutually beneficial relationship between the people who we support and those same people who support us. And that, I think, is a really great way to broaden your thinking about what support means and who you are doing what you do for, and all the wonderful things that they do for you. So it's a really nice way to recognize those relationships, appreciate those relationships, and really take them all in. An important element of this card is that we all too often think that we're racing against others. We're always comparing our race through life with others' races through lives. And usually that ends up in us externalizing our own issues or placing our own issues on others. The point of this card is to break that cycle and to really focus on the fact that when you think you're racing against somebody else, but you're really racing against yourself, and you're just externalizing and projecting it onto that other person in terms of work that you do or business things or everything that you do in your work life. And we always have these moments, and sometimes they're motivational, for sure. There's no doubt about that. But most of the time, if we can understand that when we're talking about a race against other people or other things, a race against time, all of this, that we don't have control of those elements. We don't have control of other people. We don't have control of time. And so by focusing on the other or on the external, we make this race impossible. And by focusing on ourselves and what our goals are and who we're racing for and who supports us in this race, by thinking of those things rather than thinking about the competition, we've got a fighting chance to win this race. And most of all, we can really imagine ourselves crossing that finish line because we're no longer spinning our wheels. And I think competition here is an important word because this card is about, it's also often you say, oh, it isn't a competition, that's so often heard. But when people say things like that, do we believe it? No, we kind of say, well, actually, I think that you think it is a competition. A way to get around that is to focus on the non-competitive aspects. And that's why I changed the focus from the competitors to the sponsors. Think about it in the race context. The sponsors are always with you in the race. Literally, they're always on that car. They don't disappear from the car as you drive around the track. They're with you. And you're with them, and you're carrying them around. The competition in the race really does nothing to support you or to deny you of anything. If you think about it that way, then that changes the whole idea of this rat race of life. If we allow the externals to be neither here nor there for us and focus on what we are racing for and who we are racing for, then we can't lose. If you thought this was a winning episode, then please subscribe and make a pit stop at lifespotluck.com to refuel on Life's Potluck Buffet. And if you'd like a copy of the worksheet, please just drop me a line at info@lifespotluck.com and I'll send one your way. Have a great day, and we'll see you at the finish line.